there, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Schoen from, well, we would, I guess, say almost hurricane-ridden Florida. And unfortunately, I do not expect to hear from John today because John, as we all know, is in Louisiana, and Louisiana is getting pounded by Hurricane Isaac, now a hurricane Category 1.
I'm here,
we wish
Karen.
John... You're there, John! Oh, how are you? We were so worried about you.
No, ma'am. We're actually got beautiful weather right now. We've got some high wind, but since we're on the western side of it, looks like we won't take the brunt of it that New Orleans will take.
Oh, thank God, John. I'm so glad, and everybody got off the rig safely. That's so important. You know, we were praying.
And that was a story I wanted to share with everyone. Most rigs typically do evacuate and everything. Right now, 90% of the production of the Gulf of Mexico is shut in, so there is no oil coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. But the ship that I'm on, those guys right now are running and riding away from the storm, so they've been in about a 3-day cruise.
Okay, well, everybody understand that the rigs are ships, and they are well prepared for weather, although they are not prepared, nor would we ever expect that they would continue drilling in weather like this. It's very dangerous. Having lived through Hurricane Wilma, I can tell all of you that when they say hurricane warning, we pay attention, especially in Florida. Fortunately, this time, major flooding in South Florida, but the rest of the state, we got some water, which was, I must say, well needed, and hopefully the water will stretch up into the drought areas and help them there. So things are looking good, and maybe Hurricane Isaac will be the tropical depression that will break the drought cycle, and that would be the best news that we could possibly have. So good luck to us all, and, you know, pray to God that the damage is not as severe as anyone would anticipate. That's so important. John, we had some good news last week. The EPA lost the battle, and they were not allowed to implement some of the regulations that would have shut down more of our energy sector. So that was good news, and good news to all of the people out there that are bringing this to their legislators. Don't let this die, folks. The most important thing that we have to remember is no matter who gets elected, we cannot stop, because this is only the beginning of what we're going to be facing. So we can't go back to sleep, we can't put the covers over our heads, and we can't pretend that all of the things that we have been fighting for all of this time are going to go away just because we may have new people in office. Because remember, folks, they all lie. It doesn't make any difference. So watching them and becoming the watchdogs is...
Yeah, one of the underlying stories that goes along with the court turning back the EPA, Karen, is what the EPA hoped to accomplish with this cross-country clean air piece of policy that they were hoping to institute. And what you and I and most of our listeners are keenly aware is that this agenda of the EPA is directly coming from the United Nations. And that I really believe that this was the EPA's effort. If they could have accomplished what they wanted to in this policy, that anything that happens in Louisiana and air quality, the regulations that we're forced to here because of the plants and the things that we have here, that our neighbor state, Texas, would have to be able to live by. And I really believe that what they were looking for is if they could get this policy put in place, that we would have soon seen an international policy on clean air standards that would be global and worldwide.
John, you are so right, and all I can say right now is thank you to everyone that's listening and learning and relearning, because this takes a complete new education once you realize all of the lies that are going on. I was reading, and I want to share with the listeners some of the wonderful things that are coming out of the Republican platform. And folks, let's remember that just because they're in the platform, if we do not hold the people in office accountable, they'll just be there as words, and they won't be listened to. So remember, they put things in place so that they think we won't pay attention when we're there. But now we would have a reference point to go back and say, okay, you put this in your platform, Republicans, so we expect you to adhere to it and not put it there and pretend they are empty words. They actually have part of their plank, which we all know always supports pro-life. That's so important. And the Defense of Marriage Act, and they are speaking against the war on religion. But the one that got me the most was that this paragraph, which reads, it rejects a long list of United Nations treaties, including the Treaty on Women's Rights, the Treaty on the Rights of the Child, the Treaty on Persons with Disability, the Arms Trade Treaty, the Law of the Sea Treaty, and the platform also rejects Agenda 21, including its proposal for a global tax and various UN declarations on the environment. Folks, that would have not happened if our listeners and people and you did not share this message. Folks, this is the biggest and best news that we can have. So while the Republicans, John, it actually looks like we're making headway,
yes.
The Democrats are falling into outer space. And with that in mind, John, I want to introduce you to our guest. His name is Usama Dakdok. I had the privilege of listening to Usama speak, and what he was talking about was Islam and the hidden meaning that we're being lulled into political correctness about, and we're not paying attention. And when I saw what the DNC was doing and how they are eliminating Christian prayer and they are promoting Muslim prayer at their convention, I felt that it was so important, and I asked Usama to come on the show today with us so that he can explain to all of us what this really means. Usama, are you on the line?
Yes, ma'am. Hello. How is everybody doing? And I hope and I pray everybody having a great time so far.
Okay, Usama, I want you to meet John Estabrooks. He's in Louisiana. I'm in Florida. And where are you today?
I am in Missouri, actually, in Jackson, Missouri.
In Jackson, Missouri. Usama has been traveling all over the country, and he has been sharing with Americans what the true meaning of all of this Islam supposed takeover. That's all I can't think of a better word. A stealth takeover of our Christian values. So I asked him to come on the show today and explain to everyone what this is about. So Usama, would you introduce and tell everyone where you're from, and tell them your website also, so we can reference that as well, which is also on our website now.
First of all, thank you so much for allowing me to spend this next few minutes with you. I am an Egyptian Christian, was born in Egypt, learned about Islam for 30-some years. I came to America 20 years ago. By the way, in my schooling education in Egypt, not only just a regular school, but I have a 2-year study of Islamic law, Sharia, in college in Alexandria, Egypt. I came to America 20 years ago, and since I found they're Muslim here in America, I decided to answer the call, which I have from the Lord himself, to teach the American people the truth about this barbaric political cult of Islam, which is really taking over the West, simply because the West are giving their countries, they're giving their freedoms, they're giving their democracy to the Muslims. And I don't know how long we're going to be in this naive belief that we can change the Muslim by giving them America, or we can change the Muslim by making them our president and our senators and our congressmen and our mayor, and just the more we give them, maybe we're going to change them. It's like if you have a snake and you put the snake in the house and you start feeding the snake, and you think the snake will become a dove. Somehow it will change the nature of the snake. No, we will not. And the sad thing, as you just mentioned a minute ago, we see now the Democrat Party, Obama, Hussein, this illegal Muslim president, and those who are around him, using everything they can to give more room for Muslims to take over another important step in our country, in our life. And Muslims have no problem to take all what you're going to give them. As a matter of fact, if you have a daughter you want to give to a Muslim man, he would love to have her. And if you're a husband and you would like to give your wife to a Muslim man, he would love to marry her. And it doesn't matter. If you give your mama to another Muslim man, he will take her. So the more you give to the Muslims, for sure, the more he will take over. They are willing to take
I had the opportunity this past weekend to see 2016, and I recommend that to everyone. And I didn't realize the depth of Obama's Muslim roots until I realized that his father, Obama, had 4 wives and was a Muslim. And you don't step away from that, do you, Usama? Once you are a Muslim, that is something that you don't turn off and turn on like we do in America, where we some of us are Christian when it suits us, and then we're not Christian when it doesn't suit us. And that doesn't work in the Islamic religion. I don't believe.
No, it does not. And the problem with people in America, they will believe anything and any lie Muslims will say. But in Islam, one of their doctrine, one of their belief, one of their foundation of their faith, it's okay to lie. So Obama will tell you, my daddy was not a really good Muslim. Why? Because he was drinking. Really, if that's true, then there's not a good Muslim in Saudi Arabia, because all the people in Saudi Arabia are drinking the best wine. And if you think that Obama said, well, my daddy was not a practiced Muslim because he had more than one wife, really? Didn't you know that Allah said you can have 4 free women, an unlimited number of slaves and concubines? And by the way, I talked about Barack Hussein Obama a good 5 years ago when he was running as a senator, or actually more than this, 6 years ago now. And I said, there is not one member in the entire family of Barack Hussein Obama, neither in Kenya nor in Indonesia, who is not a Muslim. Let me say it again. The entire family of Barack Hussein Obama, all his brothers, sisters, cousins, nephew, nieces, uncles, great aunts, name it, in both countries, in Kenya and in Indonesia, are Muslims. But the media doesn't want to talk about that. And the political correctness, which is destroying this country, with the Republicans, those who pretend to be conservative, not one of them is a conservative. I'm sorry to tell you that all our senators, all our congressmen and congresswomen, all our governors, all those who are in a high important place in this land, they are all cowards because they live in with political correctness. How many senators came to the media and say, or governor or anybody who's been given an important position in this country, does any one of them believe he's a Muslim? Does any one of them believe he's not illegal to be in this office? No, they're all cowards. And I said it last week, and I'll say it next month, and I will stand up before any of those who claim to be conservative and look me in the eyes, and I will tell them, because of political correctness, you sold this country to Muslim and Islam. And Obama will continue to pretend to be the guy who is open to everyone. No, he's not open to everyone. He's open to the Muslims. It's okay for Muslims to pray in the Democrat convention, but they will not have one Christian minister, born-again Christian, to go there and pray in Jesus' name. You will not.
Yes. I read that this morning, John. I couldn't believe it, that they stopped any form of prayer, any form of Christian prayer at the DNC convention, and they have opened the doors to the Islamic prayer. Folks, nothing to me was more evident than seeing that in black and white and hearing our leaders, or our Democratic leaders, in support of that. I could not believe it. And what they're doing is exactly what you're saying, Usama. They are using political correctness, which we all know is censorship, and they are using censorship. And I just had the same conversation with my representative, and I said, I did not hear you in support of Michelle Bachmann when she called for an investigation in Uma Aberdeen. I did not hear you when supporting Alan West when he was calling out the representatives and senators who are part on the Communist and Socialist Party. How can you be for America if you can't stand up and say these, Michelle Bachmann is true? Michelle Bachmann is right. She didn't say Uma Abedin was anything. All she said was, should we not investigate these people? Under normal circumstances, we would be investigating them. Why are we not investigating them today is exactly what you're saying, Usama. It is political correctness.
Absolutely.
And that has to stop.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that I found a lady like Michelle Bachmann are willing to stand up in the front line, and then all the Republicans, those who call themselves conservative, turn their back against her and pretend that she does not exist, because they're all cowards and they're all afraid. I mean, when I said in my statement earlier, not one person is standing against Obama, at least Michelle Bachmann are standing against those who are in the White House right now. Those who are put by Barack Hussein Obama, Muslim men and women. And by the way, in our presentation, Infiltration of Islam to America, or even the old one, Freedom or Surrender, which is available on our website. My website is very simple, thestraightway.org. thestraightway.org. If you go and watch this video, you'll see people who are Muslim, radical, jihadists, extremists, whatever name you want to give to them. I call them Muslims. They are practicing the word of Allah in the Quran. They are good Muslims who know exactly what Allah said, and they're willing to die to kill the last one of us, Christian, Jew, and whatever other than Muslim. Now, Obama put so many of these people in power in the White House. And Michelle Bachmann said, look, let's investigate. So who's working there? And everybody is running away from Michelle Bachmann because they're going to look extremist. See, we're living in the time where the Bible called in the end of time, where the evil is called good, and the good is called evil. If anybody say a bad word against Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, now you're an evil. You're Islamophobia. You're radical. You're a hate-monger. You must be arrested and put in jail. You're extremist. Who is Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam? A child molester? A sex offender? A prophet pretender? A womanizer? A warmonger? An adulterer? A killer? A thief? I mean, show me one sin, and I will open the Quran right now. Give me a name of a sin, and I'll open the Quran right now and show it to you. That is Muhammad. But nobody can say a word against Muhammad. No one say a word against Allah. No one say a word against Islam, because now you'd be a bad guy. Therefore, we're all going to pretend that Islam is love and peace. And you add to this problem a bigger problem when you see organizations who claim to be Christian or claim to be not Muslim, who speak highly of moderate Islam and moderate Muslims, like, sadly, Acts for America. I've been going through a real rough time the last week or so right now to know how to fight Bridget Gabriel by stopping her stupidity of giving this country to those who lie and claim to be moderate Muslim. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no such a thing as moderate Muslim, because there is no such a thing moderate Islam. We are digging ourselves a greater grave than those radicals, because Judy Yasser and Tawfiq Hakim and Mona Abdulaziz and whatever their names, these ladies and men who are surrounding Bridget Gabriel in Acts for America are nothing but Muslims who practice in taqiyya. And the proof is very simple. I would love to debate all of them. They all sit on one table, and I will sit by myself at another table, and I'm going to prove to Bridget Gabriel and Kelly, her gentleman, and everybody in her organization, I'm going to prove to them in less than an hour that these Muslims are one of two. They are not Muslim, meaning they are deceived. They believe in Allah. It does not exist in Islam. Or they're deceiver, meaning they practice taqiyya. They love us with their lips, but their heart is not there. And you don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, how much damage this moderate Muslim will bring to America. Because simply, if these people would like to run for an office as a senator or a congressman or a governor or even the next president in 2016, not one person in America will say you can't. Why? Because they're moderate Muslim. If any of these people would like to build a mosque, any city in America, not one person can stop them because guess what? They're moderate Muslims. They have the right to build a mosque. If these people would like to write my next textbook in a social study class or a history class about how loving, peaceful Islam is, not one of us can stop them or forbid them from doing so. Why? Because they're good, moderate Muslims. And these people are not welcome, not in the Middle East or not in the mosques which they build in America to speak for themselves. So they're nothing but a tool the Muslim is using to take over America. And sadly, foolishness on our part allowing these people to exist even in our imagination. So we need to get rid of
you're absolutely right, because we cannot imagine in our teachings, we cannot imagine that this is such pure evil. But you're exactly right. In Hillsborough County in Florida last year, one of the teachers invited an imam to come in, and the imam, I believe, came into the classroom and at a variety of times throughout the year gave 7 lessons to the children. 7 lessons to the children about Islam. There was not a Jewish rabbi, there was not a Catholic priest or Christian minister to refute, to be able to discuss, or to have the same lesson. However, that arm was extended out to an imam. And when the teacher was called upon that, they were told this is a history lesson, not a religious lesson. Could you explain that it's all the same? Because you explaining it would be a lot better than me trying to explain it.
And by the way, when they bring a Catholic priest or some Presbyterian or some rabbi from a Jewish faith, sadly they always bring some idiot, ignorant, foolish one who know nothing about Islam and know nothing about Christianity or Judaism. They know nothing. You understand? They bring some liberal, idiot preacher. I don't care if it's a Baptist or a Catholic or imam or a rabbi from some synagogue. They bring people who know nothing about Islam, and they sit there and shake hands and hold hands together and sing the Kumbaya song, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family, which I call Barney song. And that is making me sick. If they want to bring Muslim to our school, I would love to have them there, and because I can expose their lives in front of our students and make them look real foolish, and then we arrest them on the spot and get them out of our country, United States of America. Because these imams who come to our school, they are nothing but big liar, big deceiver, as Allah was, as Muhammad was.
Okay, the Sharia. Can you explain to everyone what Sharia is? Because we get that word thrown at us, and a lot of people are not understanding what it really means and what it will mean to Americans, because city after city, reading in Europe, in Asia, are turning their cities over, and they are not even allowing the police to come into these restricted areas that are now being governed by Sharia.
Before I start on Sharia, how much time do you give me? I hate to keep talking.
Well, we have another half hour and the show will be over. So I know you can talk for a very long time, and I'll be happy to have you come back. But right now I would like everybody to be prepared for what's happening next week as this Islamic group unfolds at the Democratic National Convention. So I want people to understand the background, where it's coming from, and what it really means.
Sister Karen, we have a problem in America, and the problem is very simple. It's one verse in the book of Hosea in the Old Testament, the Jewish books, where the Bible said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because we rejected knowledge, God will reject us seriously. This is a very important verse, Hosea 4:6. Go back to the Bible and read it. You will see that my people are destroyed. America will be destroyed from within, because Americans are ignorant, and all respect are foolish or stupid of knowing the truth about what Islam is. Now, what is Sharia? Sharia is an Arabic word which means law. If you say Sharia in Arabic, it's in English you say law. And it's amazing how many people in America say Sharia law. That's a nonsense statement. It's like you're saying law. What is L-A-W, L-A-W? You can speak Arabic and say Sharia Islamiyya, or you can speak English and say Islamic law. So I hope and I pray I will not hear from any of you or future people listening to this podcast anything about law. There's no such a thing as law. There's Sharia or law. Sharia Islamiyya or Islamic law. Now, what is the source of Sharia? There are two books. The book of the Quran and the book of the Hadith. What is the Quran? Muslims claim the Quran to be the revelation revealed to Muhammad through angel Jibreel, which he collected the verses of it in 23 years in his life, or 22 years in his life. No, the Quran is nothing but a dumb, and I say again, a dumb counterfeit to the Bibles and many other stories. How do I know that? I translated myself. So if you need a true English translation of the Quran, which is the real title of it, is the Generous Quran, please go to my website or go to Amazon.com and search for the Generous Quran. The Generous Quran. So, it's amazing to see American people. Some of them are very educated on everything, but in Islam, they're nothing but ignorant. Let me say it again. With respect, they don't know. A good gentleman, which I love so dearly, and I listen to his program every day, by the name Schoen. And Schoen, like many others, he would bring the Muslim to his show, and he said, we like Muslim, we love Muslim, we have no problem with Muslim, but we don't want you to practice Sharia law. Now, for Schoen to say Sharia law just alone, it tells me he does not know what the word Sharia is. Law? That's nonsense. But what Schoen does not know, that you cannot tell me that Muslims are welcome to live in America, but at the same time you tell me that they cannot practice Sharia. Why? Because Sharia is the words of Allah in the Quran, the commands of Allah in the Quran. When Allah said in the Quran, do, or Allah said in the Quran, don't. Do this or don't do that, that is the law. So that is the first source of Sharia, Islamic law. It is the word of Allah in the Quran, the commands of Allah in the Quran. The second important source and last for Sharia is Hadith. What is the Hadith? An Arabic word. The words of Allah, the word of Apostle of Allah, false child molester Muhammad. He said so many things. He told the people, don't do that or do that. So the word of Allah in the Quran and the word of Muhammad in the Hadith, the commands of Allah and Muhammad made up the Sharia. So imagine with me, Schoen Hannity, or many, I just picked up Schoen as just a name we all know. He tells the Muslim, you're welcome to live in America, but at the same time, we don't want you to practice your Quran and your Muhammad, your Prophet Muhammad words. That is dumb. That is foolishness. What do I mean by that? Can you imagine with me if somebody could tell you, you Christian, you Baptist, or you Catholic, or you Jew, yeah? You're welcome to live in America, and you're welcome to live as Christian, but do not practice any of the teaching of the Bible and any of the teaching of Jesus. What is that? That's an oxymoron statement. If Muslims welcome to live in America, therefore they must practice religion. Therefore they must practice Sharia, Islamic law, the word of Allah and the word of Muhammad. Now, a couple years ago we got in this situation here where Oklahoma passed a law with 70% of the voters. And people that said no Sharia law, they said Sharia law there, that's okay, no Islamic law to be practiced in the state of Oklahoma. And as we saw the result of the vote, it was 70%. And people of Oklahoma were happy and celebrating. This night, when I read this number, 70%, I literally was almost about to cry. Why is that? Because that means, my dear sister Kelly and everybody else is listening, that means 30% of the people of Oklahoma said yes to Sharia. There is less than 1% Muslim live in Oklahoma. Where in the world the other 29% came from? Guess what? There's the dumb, foolish, stupid, ignorant Democrats. The liberals. They hate Jesus. They hate Moses. They hate the Bible. They hate the Ten Commandments. It's the same people who want to remove the Ten Commandments from the court of law, from our school, the same people who do not want to have a Christian prayer in the school, the same people who do not want to have anything to do with Christ or the Jewish faith in our life. They are the same one who would love to replace our Constitution, which it is Judeo-Christian laws. If I have another program with you in the future for 2-3 hours, I can show you one law by one law which we practice in America is nothing but the Bible teachings. So these liberals, these atheists, these agnostics, those who hate Jesus, those who hate the Bible, those who hate thou shalt not commit adultery, those who hate thou shalt not lie, those who hate thou shalt not whatever, they would like to replace these laws and this constitution by Islamic law. That's why 29% of the people of the state of Oklahoma went with the Muslim, the 1%, against the will of the people of Oklahoma. But even though the law, the vote went 70-30, we got a judge lady in Oklahoma, a black judge, whom I have her picture in front of me right now here in my computer. She met with CARE. Who are CARE? If you see CARE on CNN or on Fox News, you see the Muslim men who are wearing suits and tie. What do we call a Muslim man in a suit and tie in America? A moderate Muslim. But who are really CARE? Who CARE really are? They are nothing but Hezbollah and Fatah and Al-Qaeda and Hamas and the Brotherhood. They are the true Muslim jihadists. The only difference between a Muslim man, a member of CARE in America, and a member of CARE in Gaza is what they dress. Does he have a suit? Yeah, that's a moderate Muslim American. Does he have no suit and tie? Yep, he's a good Muslim jihadist. They are the same. That's why I said, as an earlier few minutes ago, there's no such a thing moderate Muslims, because there's no moderate Islam. These CARE members went and met with this judge, this liberal black judge, and she quickly turned the law upside down, and now Muslims can practice Sharia, Islamic law in the state of Oklahoma. Now, there's so much I can talk about Sharia, but literally, I just want to move to one more important piece here. When Muslims talk about Sharia, or when somebody in America rejected Islam Sharia, Muslim in America, those who are called themselves moderate Muslim, will always come with a lie. And their lie is very simple. Oh, that's not Islam. That is not Sharia. That is culture. How many times did you hear the word culture? Honor killing in America is culture. Excuse me. I'm getting sick and tired of Fox News to bring 3 programs. That's a full 3-hour program to talk about honor killing in America, and then the final sentence and the conclusion of this one long hour program, it is culture. No, it is not culture. It is the practice of the teaching of Allah in the Quran, Quran chapter 6 and verse 151. When a Muslim man kills his own daughter or his son for becoming a Christian, it is not culture, it is Islamic law. Leaving Islam causes Muslim to lose his life. So
what they are doing is they are using the words falsely. They're lying about what the meaning of the words are, because there really is only one meaning of the words.
Absolutely.
So they use...
Sure.
They're using our words that we're familiar with to create an illusion of what their motivation is, which is to eliminate the Jews and the Christian and the Western way of life and create Muslims studying the Islamic way of life, because if you're not Islamic, according to what you described in the Quran, you cannot exist.
Let me give you a few examples of what Muslims in America say is culture, but it's not culture, it's the word of Allah. Hijab, the covering which you see in some of the women from head to toe, you cannot see who is behind the hijab. Now, Muslim will tell you that's a culture. And you say, what do you mean by it's culture? Say, oh, see, in Muhammad days, years and years and years ago, there were not running water, shampoo, to cover their hair so it will not get dirty by the sand and the dirt in the air, because they cannot wash their beautiful long hair every hour or every day, so they have to cover their hair to keep it clean. And that's why it's culture. Excuse me, let's open the Quran. In Quran chapter 33 verse 59, what did Allah say? O you prophets, say to your wives and to your daughters and to the women of the believers. Let down their covering over them. When you read a verse like this in English, I don't know, it means too much. But when you read the interpretation of all Muslim scholars, when I say Muslim scholars, I did not mean Judaizers, the one who cannot even read Arabic to know what the word says in Arabic. No, this moderate Muslim, which Bridget Gabriel have as a hero, and he is a man who is going to save America, who's, by the way, building more mosques in America, and he will continue to build mosques in America, and nobody will stop him from building mosques in America to the true Muslims. But anyway, he does not know what is the statement, let down their covering. So if I want to know what let down their covering mean, I would go to the interpretation of Ibn Kathir, or Al-Qurtubi, or Al-Jalalain, or Al-Tabari. Who are these people? These are the Muslim scholars who interpret the Quran. The Quran is not open, my dear brothers and sisters. The Quran is not open for suggestions or opinion. How do you like the verse to say, or how do you like to interpret the verse? It is already interpreted. And the interpretation is very simple, that women will cover their body from their head to their toe. Nothing will be shown from them. Even the shape of their body will not show, and only a small hole of their left eye. Do you understand that mean? That means if a woman is dressed in hijab and she's walking with another 4 or 5 women, and you know that one of these women is your wife, you could not figure out which one is your wife because you cannot see even their eyes. A small hole in front of their left eye, so they can see where they walk into, so they will not hit a wall or hit some piece of furniture in the house. That is the true understanding of a hijab. So Muslims who claim that this burqa or this hijab is not Islam, but it's culture, they're lying. Now, how about the practice of the cutting of the hand of the thief? You hear this lady talking to Sean Hannity on his radio program. Oh, Sean, cutting the hand of the thief is not Islam at all. This is only practice. It is a very barbaric way of life and a barbaric punishment. And we Muslims do not believe in that. The Quran does not teach that. Muhammad never taught that. Really? And since Sean Hannity never read the Quran, what Allah said in the Quran, and he will believe this stuff practice in few countries like Saudi Arabia, in bad Wahhabi. Oh yeah, bad Wahhabi. And some of the people in some world country where they're very poor and uneducated, they are practicing this barbaric way of life. But that's not Islam. That is culture. That's not the Quran. Go to the Quran chapter 5 and verse 38. What did Allah say there? And listen carefully. Quran 5:38. That is the word of Allah. And the male thief and the female thief. So cut off their hands as reward of what they earned as a punishment from Allah. So what do we learn from the Quran? The punishment for a thief is the cut of the hands. That's not my opinion. That's not my suggestion. That is the words of Allah in the Quran. And I can go on and on with another 100 verse in the Quran. The honor killing, Quran chapter 6, verse 151. And by the way, this is repeated in Quran chapter 17, verse 33, and Quran chapter 25 and verse 68. And Allah said, and do not, here is the word of Allah, 6:151, and do not kill the soul which Allah forbids, except with a just cause. What is the soul which Allah forbids? It is a Muslim soul. Muslim cannot kill a Muslim, but they can kill a Muslim for a just cause. What is a just cause? You go to Sahih Bukhari, volume number 9, hadith number 17, and listen to the words of the Apostle of Allah Muhammad. And don't forget now, Sharia, Islamic law, it is the word of the Quran and the word of the hadith. Allah's command and Muhammad's command. What did Muhammad say in this hadith? Bukhari, Sahih Bukhari, it's a very strong hadith. All Muslims believe in it. All the denominations believe in it. Volume 9 and hadith number 17. Muhammad said, the blood of a Muslim cannot be shed except in 3 cases. For murder, adultery, and the one who become an apostate. That is the one who leaves the religion of Islam. This is not our opinion, ladies and gentlemen. This is the word of Muhammad. So honor killing is true. It is Islam. And I can go on with Sharia for another 6-7 hours, but I'll let you guys go ahead and say something else.
This is such an incredible wealth of information. It is very, very, it's so encompassing to absorb because it is so anti everything that we believe. Turn the other cheek. People are innocent until proven guilty. There isn't anything like that in Islam. If somebody says you're guilty, we read of this all the time. They just a group of 17 youngsters were just murdered because they were dancing at a party after they were told that they could dance at a party. And then another group said, no, you can't dance at the party. And they were killed. They were murdered. And this is acceptable.
Karen, can you imagine with me, 50 years from now, 2 Muslims walk by your grandson and they say, we saw your grandson stealing from Mr. Muhammad's shop. And then your grandson, you don't need a third witness, just 2 Muslims who does not like your grandson, whom Allah taught them in the Quran, they have the right to lie. It's okay to lie for the cause of Islam to take over America. And they will say they saw your grandson stealing from another Muslim guy, and they will take your grandson here in America, 50 years from now. They take him in a public square, and they stretch his hand, and somebody swing a sword and cut your grandson's hand, because simply 2 Muslims says we saw him stealing from somebody else.
I hope that people are understanding that, and I want to repeat the first part that you said, which is they have the right to lie.
This is not our opinion.
Listen to what our president has been doing from the first day that he came in office.
Absolutely.
There wasn't one of his campaign promises that he kept. Everything that he has said has been a lie, and it is proven. It's not just Karen and John saying that. Every single thing that he has done has been a lie. And now we find out that in the Quran it says you can lie. Well, now we know where all of this is coming from. So, if it smells like a duck and walks like a duck and talks like a duck, well, oh my goodness, guess what?
It may be a duck. Yeah.
You got it.
Absolutely.
That to me is staggering. Here we are as Christians and Jews following the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not lie, steal, covet thy neighbor's wife, etc., etc. But the most important thing is, what kind of a role model are we giving to our children when we allow people who have the ability and are told that lying is acceptable? So this to me is how the Muslims fit with the communists, because in the Communist Manifesto they are told that you can lie because the ends justify the means. Well, here we have the next group that says you can lie because the ends justify the means. So if I wanted something from someone, I wouldn't have to go to ask them. I wouldn't have to buy it from them. All I would have to do is create a lie.
Well, let me quote you a couple of verses from the Quran so people does not think we're making it up. In Quran chapter 16, verse 106, Quran 16, verse 106, it says, whoever become an infidel in Allah after he believed, except one who was compelled and his heart is secure in faith, but whoever opens his chest to the infidelity, the wrath of Allah will be upon them, and they will have a great torment. Listen carefully. You cannot lie. But if you are compelled, but your heart is secure in faith, it's okay. The Quran teach in this verse, Quran 16:106, it is lawful for Muslim to deny his faith. And that's exactly what Barack Hussein Obama did. He denied because he's compelled. He denied that he's a Muslim because he was forced, because that's the only way he can be the president of the United States of America. For he knew for sure, if he told American people in 2008, I'm a Muslim, 7 years after September 11, I'm a Muslim guy, but I'm a good Muslim, vote for me, he will have no chance to win. And if McCain have told the American people the truth about Obama being a Muslim, He will not be the president the last 4 years. And because Romney is not telling the American people he is a Muslim, most likely, Obama will win 4 more years. Then you move to another verse. Quran 2, verse 225. Allah said, Allah will not hold you responsible for your mere utterance in an oath, but He will hold you responsible for that which your heart gained. And Allah is forgiving, merciful, or forgiving, forbearing. Here the Quran in chapter 2, verse 225 teaches that it is lawful for Muslims to lie even in the swearing. Can you imagine a guy put his hand on the Quran and swear, I swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me Allah. And he would say, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he will be lying because the important is you ask him, did you mean it? No, then it's okay to lie. Remember the guy in New York who was the New York Square bomber? When the judge lady asked him, didn't you become a citizen last year and you gave allegiance to America and the Constitution? He said, yes, I said it, but I did not mean it. If he did not mean it, that means it's okay to lie in your oath. Now, another hadith.
Now, just think one second. Just think back, folks, to the inauguration and Barack Obama taking the oath to the Constitution and to the people of the United States while being a Muslim.
Absolutely. Let me share with you what Muhammad said in the hadith. That's the other source of the Sharia of Islamic law. In Musnad Ahmad, hadith number 26,315. 26,315, Muhammad said, it is lawful to lie in 3 cases. And a man to his wife that she will be pleased with him, or at the time of war, because war is deception, or to make peace between people. Obviously, he meant here Muslim people. Now, in this hadith we learn, a man in Islam can lie to his wife, that is the closest of the family member to you, or to his enemy, or to his friends. I think that covers everybody.
So he can lie to anybody.
That's it.
Doesn't matter.
Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam. So the sad thing is we American people are so naive, and we're so kind, and we're so loving, and we just believe people. If a Muslim man raises up his hand, I swear to tell the truth, so help me Allah, or so help me God, we believe that, hey, the guy is swearing. No, they can smile in your face, and they tell you we love you, but the truth is they don't love you. How do we know that? That is what the Quran teach in chapter 3, verse 28. This is what we call taqiyya. What is taqiyya? That is how Muslims protect themselves from us in America. When Allah said, Quran chapter 3, verse 28, believers, do not take infidels for friends rather than believers. You should guard yourself from them, your fear of him, Allah. What does Muhammad mean by that? Let me read to you the interpretation of Jalalain. He said, any Muslim believer should never take any infidel for friend. And whoever does that, whoever takes them for a friend, they're no longer believers. They have nothing to do with Allah. Allah is they literally lost their being called even a Muslim. But he said, أي تخافوهم مخافة فلكم مولاتهم باللسان دون القلب. If you are afraid of them, you can be their friends with your tongues without your heart. وهذا قبل عزة الإسلام. And this is before the glory or the high power of Islam. ويجرى في من هو في بلد ليس فيها قوية. And this can be practiced among Muslims who are in a city or in a country they are not strong in it. Like what? Like Muslim in America. Muslim in America have the right to be friends with American, and they love us with their tongue, but they will not love us with their heart. Because why? When the day will come and Muslim will have the upper hand in America, America will not be different than Europe, but it will be even worse than Europe. Quran chapter 47, 35, Allah said, so do not be weak and do not call for peace when you have the upper hand. Listen again. Very important. Quran 47, 35. Allah said, so do not be weak and do not call for peace when you have the upper hand. Do Muslims in America have the upper hand today? No, but I guarantee you, In 50 years, the Muslim in America will have the upper hand, and then they will not call for peace. They will not call for love. They will not hug us and kiss us, but they will bomb our churches. They will bomb our school. They will bomb our places of shopping. They will do everything they can to destroy this country from within. And the sad thing is, so many people in America will allow Muslims to pretend what they are not. That is to lie to us, loving, peaceful, moderate Muslim for the next 50 years. And then you will not have 20 million Muslims live in America, but you will have 100 million Muslims live in America. And then they will have the upper hand and then kiss United States of America, our Constitution, our freedom, every church, every synagogue, every piece of freedom for people to worship or not to worship. Goodbye.
Folks, we need to pay attention, and we need to pay attention what's going on in Europe and what's going on in the Middle East, which is not being reported by the American media. We need to go on to the media of those countries and find out the truth, because every day I am reading about how churches are being bombed, how Christians are being killed, little by little, small groups internally, so that it's not being reported. But every day I am reading that this is what is going on. And the longer we allow ourselves to be ignorant, the worse it's going to be for our children. I don't fear for me for 50 years. I'd be shocked if I was here in 50 years. But our children and our grandchildren, this is going to be our future. This will be our future. Your children, your grandchildren, your daughters will be wearing burqas, will be wearing the hijab, will be practicing Islamic law, and will become slaves because they do not treat women kindly. They treat women as objects. They are possessions. And just take a look at what is going on in Egypt. Egypt was, by all sense of direction, was heading towards a westernization. The women were driving, they were working, they were participating, they were be free, they were getting educated. Look at the clock being turned back on the Egyptian women. Look at the clock being turned back on the Afghanistan women. Look at what's happening. And it's not happening, it's happening right under our eyes because this president has allowed it to happen. He wants it to happen. And this is a glimpse of what Usama is saying. This is a glimpse of where America is going. So I implore you, please go see 2016. Go on Usama's website, thestraightway.org. Look at the videos, read the Quran, and read your interpretation of what I love that you did is you took the Bible and you took the Quran and you put the words side by side and you said, this is what the Christians feel and do, and this is what the Muslims feel and do, and look at the difference. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Usama's word for it. Investigate yourself, because this must be stopped. We cannot allow this in our schools. My fear, even more so than the schools, what's going on in our prisons. What's going on in the prisons, because no one is paying attention. Who knows what the people are coming out of prisons believing, because the Islamic population in the prisons is so high, so high. Who knows what happens when these people leave? It is all based on lies, and it is all based on deception. And if we don't pay attention today, we will not have a good tomorrow. So, Usama, we are just about done. What can you say? What can we do? What can we recognize? What should we do?
Well, it's very simple. Once again, education will bring elimination to Islam and Muslim from America. Literally, there are many victims of Muslim who believe in lies, if it is a positive or negative lies about Islam. And the church in America, and the Christian in America, and the atheist in America, and the Jew in America, and everybody who live in America, every non-Muslim who live in America need to educate themselves about the Quran. They need to educate themselves about Islam, Muhammad, and Allah. So my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. the answer. You want to be safe? You want to save your country? You want to save your freedom? You want to save your democracy? You want to have a great future for your children and grandchildren? Educate yourself. Read the Quran. Learn the truth about Islam. And stand up boldly. Don't be coward like all of the leaders we got so far are cowards. Speak everywhere you have opportunity to stand, speak, and force our politicians to read the Quran. We already send them our copy of the Quran. I already send my translation of the Quran to every senator, to every congressman, and to every congresswoman, and to every governor, to the High Supreme Justice Court. We send them the Quran. Go and call them, email them. Have you read the Quran? The generous Quran which has been sent to you by the Straight Way of Grace Ministry. And if they tell you, no, we have not received it, no problem. Please email us. Usama at thestraightway.org, and we would love to send them another copy. I will take it by hand to their office in Washington or in whatever state they're in. We travel all over the country and we can meet them anywhere. We make sure within the next few days they will have a new copy in their hand. But we need to educate ourselves, because as long as we are ignorant of Islam, the longer the chance for the Muslim to take over America. We can close every mosque in America, because mosques do not teach but the Quran. The Quran is illegal document. It's illegal book. It stands against the Constitution of America. It is, if Obama has the right to kill bin Laden because he believes bin Laden is a bad Muslim guy, therefore we in America should get rid of every Muslim man and woman who believes in the Quran. Because guess what? Osama bin Laden did not do anything wrong, but he simply practiced the teaching of Allah in the Quran and the command of Muhammad in the Hadith. Bin Laden was a true Muslim, and there are plenty of bin Laden who live in America, and sadly today they are working in the White House, they're working in the Pentagon, they're working in FBI and CIA, they're working in every important office in Homeland Security, and it's time for us to learn the truth about Islam, the Quran, so we can get rid of all these people, beginning by Barack Hussein Obama, this illegal Muslim who is in the White House. If he stays in the White House 4 more years, you may kiss your grandchildren goodbye.
Folks, I can't impress that upon you enough. Watch the DNC convention just to see exactly where this is going. Please understand it. It is so true. And Usama has been spending his life driving around the country, speaking to groups, talking to them, training them. Should you want him to come to your group, please go on his website. Please get in touch with him, and please have him come to your group to explain what this Islam is really all about. It was an eye-opening seminar. I've been to many, and I must say, Usama, yours was the best. The best that I have ever seen, the clearest, and brought everything right out in the open. Do not be afraid, folks. We are Americans, and we have to be Americans while we still have the time to be Americans. So on that note, thank you so much. TheStraightWay.org. You can find Usama. If you can't, just go to Agenda21Today.com. Join us. This is Karen Schoen with American Freedom Watch Radio and John Estabrooks and Usama Dakdok. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please visit our websites, Agenda21Today.com, RepatriateRadio.com, PanhandlePatriots.com, and AmericaIsMyName.org. Be an American and stand up for America. Thank you, and have a wonderful week.